Mike Morell spoke at length last week about the meeting he had with the three of you in November 2012. Was that testimony he gave the House committee accurate or misleading?
Go ahead, Lindsay. It was misleading, as Lindsay said.
I think it was incredibly misleading because he basically bragged about correcting the record. How many people in this town do that? It was an open-ended question about who changed the talking points. He got us to talking about the change in Al-Qaeda, that the FBI took out references to Al-Qaeda because they did not want to compromise an ongoing criminal investigation. That stuck with me as being so unreasonable that I issued a press release. But it wasn't just a narrow question of who took out Al-Qaeda. He took us down that road. And now I know he did not delete the references to Al-Qaeda in the talking points, but he did everything else. A truthful response to the three of us would have been, I had a hand in changing the talking points. I gave a heavy-handed edit to the talking points, as we now know in emails that were found out which came from the talking points, completely misled the American people. It was not the best evidence.
Let me just make one point. Mr. Morell told us that the FBI did the talking points. Then later, quote, in his view, corrected the record. Is that a slip of the tongue? You would tell three senators that someone else besides you made up the talking, did the talking points? How do you make a mistake like that, particularly on an issue of this gravity? And then when his people, not him, called and said they wanted to correct the record, he didn't correct the record. Obviously, he didn't correct the record.